Happy Bridgerton week. Today's episode, we are going to be discussing the top 5 moments in Bridgerton. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to another episode of Clear. We made it to Bridgerton week. I had to really think about what did I want to talk about this week. And we need to talk about I have the top 4 moments. I'm pretty sure there's more than that. But we need to talk about the top 4 moments. As you know, Bridgerton was made by Shonda Rhimes, and this is about a different Bridgerton. So far, we've done Anthony, Daphne, Colin, and so this one's going to be about Benedict. If you guys have read the books, please do me the honor of saying nothing because I have not read the books. So anything I'm saying wrong, please give me a little bit of leeway for my ignorance that I don't know, but I just know what I watch. So coming at number 4, do you know what it feels like to burn for someone? Do you know? So basically the what I'm talking about, you're gonna hear this British accent for the rest of the series. This is basically Simon is pledging his feelings to Daphne. So Simon is Simon is the product of a interracial, and back in the day, you know how they were. But basically, he has always been this, they call him a rake. So a rake is basically someone who they pretend like they're interested, but they're not really interested in anybody. So it would be an F-boy. it would be today's F-boy is what they would consider a rake. Basically, you have money. Anthony was one for a little bit too, but you have money and you don't want to marry anybody. So back in the day, in the Regency era, it was just unheard of to not be married. Like you think being 25 and up or 30 and up with no ring or no baby. Listen, back in the day, you would be considered ancient if by 22 you would at least have 1 or 2 miniature version of yourself around. So basically this moment is after Simon's been playing coy with Daphne. Daphne already said that she's starting to fall for him because the thing that I've always liked about Daphne and Simon's story, like there's something about their love that it got very real quickly, because it first started off as Simon was just gonna help her pull in other guys and pretend to be with her, and then they started off as friends, which to me is the best way if you want a really good relationship is to start off as friends. So they're going back and forth, and they had kissed in the garden, which back in the day that was considered you guys are just together, right? And he finally confesses himself, and it's beautiful. I think the reason why it counted so much is the fact that Simon is such a hard person to read. He would be somebody I would go after in my early 20s because I like the non-emotional. Now, no, absolutely not. At 34, absolutely not. But he's definitely the type of person I would go for in the past. Like, he's not good with his emotions. He doesn't speak. He doesn't really speak about things. So for him to say, do you know what it feels like to burn? I feel like Roger, the actor, it burned from his stomach. Like, I felt like it was such a good, only he could deliver the line because of the fact that Daphne was kind of like, I don't really know if he likes me or not. Like, I put my whole family on the line. She's the eldest daughter. So, the eldest daughter, there goes that whole trauma right there. I wouldn't know I'm the baby girl, but there goes that whole trauma right there with being the eldest daughter. So I don't know. I felt like it was such a cool scene. And then of course afterwards, she was like, I've always loved you as well. Like it was really, really dope. Okay. So the next one is my favorite. You already know who my favorite couple is Canthony. This is the B scene. When I tell you, this is the first time I've seen in a series, because even with Simon and I'm hungry. I said Salmon and Daphne. Even with Simon and Daphne, I felt like, they had a lot of scenes, but Kate and Anthony, child, the bar is high. There was just something about that B scene. So the B scene, let's describe it. The B scene is basically where Anthony's father unfortunately passed away from being bit by a bee, and so him and Kate and Anthony were arguing because Anthony is betrothed to date her younger sister. sorry, it's the son. I'm making me sneeze. They're her younger sister, right? And so basically they're going back and forth. He's like, oh my goodness, da, da, da. So he sees that there's a bee on her chest. So he tries to basically get away with it or blah, blah. And so it goes away and it bites her. And so he starts having a panic attack because, like I said, the body keeps score. So his body still remembers of when he unfortunately saw his father pass away from a bee sting. So she was like, are you okay? Or blah, blah. So Kate puts his hand right here and he does the same thing to her. Which, you know what's funny is just that when I think about it, he's the one who took that situation too far because she was just trying to calm him down. And like, so she put his hand on her chest to basically match your tone. Like I do it a lot with kids too when I'm babysitting. I'm just like, when I see a kid and they're yelling, it's like, hey, I was like, now match my tone, hear my temperament, match my tone, hear my temperament. Okay, it calms them down immediately because you don't want to be out there looking crazy. So she was like, hey, match, breathe. So after he's out of flight mode, the other head kicks in and he's like, oh, I'm touching her bosom. This is your clavicle, like this is your décolletage, but like this is like the bosom in the Regency era, right? So he's touching her and like this, blah, blah, blah. And so he starts feeling motion and she's like, oh, okay. So I didn't know he liked me like that. So they're just, breathing very hard and all that. And I ain't gonna hold you, but like that scene, I rewatched it at least 8 times because when you, I haven't seen romance like this in a while, like earning, like people who yearn, like, I haven't seen yearning in a long time. It's always like, I've always liked you. It's just like I like the fact that it built, like, I was just like, oh, I was like, I need a cigarette. I don't even smoke. I was like, I need, oh, like, it was intense. I was like, oh my goodness, my word, don't jest. It was insane, but honestly, one of the top heated moments. It's funny because it's a non scene. I don't know if it's gonna get banned or not, censored or not. But like, it was the fact that it was a non scene. Like, and that was like, I literally was like, is the AC on? Of course it's on. So is the fan. This is Florida. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, am I old enough to see this? It was insane. It's one of the best scenes. I don't know what Shonda Rhimes was on, but that day she was diabolical with us that way, because like that literally from the whole season, that's still the hottest season. That's the hottest scene I've ever seen, but there's still 2 more to go. But that was like one of the hottest scenes I've ever seen on a TV series, especially by Netflix. No offense to Netflix, but that was, because afterwards, like, they both was like, oh, I need a cigarette, I need a cig or something, but like that was a top scene, and it also set off their romance as well. So it was a catalyst for romance. So this next one is the next moment coming in number 2 is uncovering Lady Whistledown. So Lady Whistledown is actually Penelope, and Penelope this whole time has been writing the basically the XOX it's the gossip girl of the Regency era is Lady Whistledown, and having different people uncover it, like when Eloise found out about it. Because a lot of what Lady Whistledown did was the fact that she was always accurate. There was never a time that she would make a rumor. Dearest gentle readers, like, she never made up stuff. Like, it was always stuff that was accurate. So them finding out that it was Penelope was pretty dope. Like, I like the fact that the way it was uncovered, it gave what it needed to give. It gave what it needed to give. It did what it needed to do. I also feel like as well with uncovering like how different people reacted towards it. Like when Colin found out, it was mostly like, dang, like, you've been writing all this stuff about our family. Because one thing about Lady Whistledown, she's going to talk about the Bridgertons, but I also feel like one thing too that I really like the fact that it's been Penelope this whole time. One of the things that I thought was really cool was the fact that it never started off as, it was just something to do. Like, it was something to pass the time. Like, she was always a great writer anyways, but it was honestly started off as something to pass the time. And then whenever someone would piss her off, then she would make it as a way to use her writing to punish the people. But I don't know. it was pretty cool uncovering that she was Lady Whistledown, because you have to understand, like, these people do not have cable or social media. Like, that was their version of social media. That was their version of Gossip Girl, was Lady Whistledown. So being able to find that out was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of fire. Is that weird? I thought that was really fire that they found that, like, they found it out that way. I also found it was pretty dope with how they wrote it. Like, they didn't, like, there was plenty of times where I really thought they were going to uncover it. That's why when Eloise found out that, you know, she was looking in the cupboards, which I'm just like, my thing too is just that with Eloise, she was on a mission from the Queen Charlotte, and she was on a mission from her to basically find out who Lady Whistledown was, and she was a great journalist because she found out that it was her friend. And so they stopped being friends after that too, unless she was going to tell Colin, or she was going to tell Colin at this time. But definitely uncovering it. But Lady Whistledown has pretty much, she's the reason why the series is the series. Okay, of course, voiced by the lovely Julie Andrews from Princess Diaries. And I met her as supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Mary Poppins, and of course, Sound of Music. But she's iconic. So uncovering her was kind of like, I thought they were going to end the series. That's why I have it as number 2. I was like, I really thought they were going to end the series after she got uncovered. I was like, now that she's uncovered, like, what are we doing now? what are we going to be doing? Like, XO, Lady Whistledown. Like, where is she? Where is she now? But it's just good writing. I love the fact that it was such a mystery for a while, and then we found out when she had a little. Remember when they had Penelope in that hood? I was like, is that their version of a hoodie? Like, I was like, why you got? No offense, Penelope, but you have that bright, beautiful red hair. We know it was you, Mama. We know it was you. But it was really cool uncovering it. So I don't know. That's why it's one of my top 2 moments of Bridgerton so far. So coming at number 1.
With me for yourself. No one wishes
George!
that.
I will stand with you between the heavens and the earth. I will tell you where you are. Do you love me?
I love you!
Thank you. That was one of the best parts. So Queen Charlotte had its own series, and I almost didn't include it because it's not really about the Bridgertons. It's more like Bridgerton adjacent. Like, we found out about Miss Danbury, Mrs. Bridgerton. You know how she be doing. But the love between King George, former George, and Queen Charlotte, like, I don't even know if you're supposed to have that type of love twice. I don't think the human mind can truly appreciate that type of love. I feel like that's the type of love that you fall in love with someone like that. That's all you get. Like, you're not going to get 2 of those. Like, you're not, I know it sounds mean, but you're not going to get 2 of those. Some people, like with Mulan, when the emperor was just like, was telling, fine one, what's his name? Shao, whatever her name is. The one that was after Mulan, and he was like, that's the type of woman you don't find, not even a century, but every dynasty. I was like, he's right. Like, with George and Charlotte, like, they're bold to, like, you're not gonna find that again. This is the type of relationship that we're gonna have to figure it out, because nothing's gonna come close to it. Like, it's like, once I started eating at a high-end breakfast spot, I can't even look at IHOP again. Like, I drive by, I'm just like, enjoy your truck stop, no offense, but I can't even think about going to IHOP after eating at this high-end breakfast spot. So it's the same way. You just develop a taste for better. Like, their story, I know they only gave us a couple episodes, but their story was beautiful. It just an even day. But their story was so beautiful, and I really love the fact that it just showed like a different side of Charlotte. But that when she was just, I will stay, I will stay with you, the Evans and the Oth, like, you know, like, because he had schizophrenia, and I don't know. That's it. That's my top moments. You guys can put what I missed as well. There was a couple honorable mentions, you know, with what's his name? When Benedict found out that he needs more in life, that was really good development for him, because he's always been like the hot brother. That's why, like, I don't know if he can get any finer. I don't know, because you know how they like they chandelize them each when it's their season. He already fine. I don't know how he can get finer, but That was pretty dope. Colin realizing that he loves Penelope was pretty dope, but I don't know, like the Queen Charlotte moment, I don't know. You guys can just in the comments, but don't forget to subscribe and share. It's Claire here.